engine room. Ahead 1/4. Sound blast bell. Leadsman, sound off. Give me a depth reading by the mark.
1
Mark 4. Engine at 3/4. Stand by. Steady as she goes. Captain?
Aboard the Liberty Belle. I'm your captain, Horace Bixby, and my pilot with me here on the Texas deck is a young cub that goes by the name of Sam Clemens. And he's marking his 100th voyage down the river today with nary a calamity on his watch. Sam knows this river like his own backyard. Sam, tell our guest everything you know about this river.
Well now, I always figure it is better to keep your mouth shut in case students are open and remove all doubt. But I will tell you this, I love this river more than anything else. I've loved this river even from the time I was a toddler back in Missouri. Before we get too much further out of port, I think I should mention that you best not be sitting on those handrails. They're the only thing between you and the river. And the river don't always take kindly to uninvited guests. There's some river pirates operating in the city, so I wouldn't lean out beyond those rails for that reason either. For those of you on the port side, that river town we're passing is Frontierland. A few years back, it was known as a river town carved out of the wilderness by a handful of settlers looking to start a new life. Today, gentility and decor we still have to share footloose traffic, steel motors, prospectors, and an Indian or two. But most of it is flush times and well on its way to become a fine big city. Frontierland reminds me some of my own hometown, Arnold. It takes me back to when I was a barefoot boy growing up outside the riverbank. You know, it seems to me that when I was younger, I could remember everything, whether it happened or not. But as I grow older, I seem to remember only the things that never happened at all. On the starboard side was my stomping grounds when I was young. Exceedingly young. Marvelously young. Young by hundreds of years. Younger than I will ever be again. It's called Tom Sawyer's Island and is named for a friend from my boyhood. Even today, the only way you can get there is by raft. Old man Harper's grain mill's there, back in the woods just off Tom's Landing. And that's Muff Potter's farm and his windmill. We almost hanged most of us. And there's Huck's Landing. I always did like Huck. I swear, just wonderful. He and Tom and I spent most of our wild and reckless youth exploring that island. Lots of caves, lots of adventure, if you know where to look. And we all knew where to look. That Superstition Bridge, it connects the Big Island to the Little one. And if you follow the Wilderness Trail there, it'll lead you right up to the gates of Fort Langhorne. It's the last trading outpost before we head into Indian country. Look off to the port side there. Every now and then, the water under that crest of rock starts to Well, boy, it spurts out all over the place like a tea kettle left on the fire. The Indians around here used to tell me these geysers were actually unfriendly spirits, upset by unwanted trespassers traipsing all over their sacred hunting ground. Be that as it may, that big Thunder Mountain floating up in the sky over there. The Indians named it that because of the sound the falls used to make when the big rains came. When prospectors and get-rich-quick speculators showed up, the name stuck because of the sound of blasting powder going off every few minutes. There's not so much blasting these days, ghost stories about a runaway mine train loading down with simple-hearted, terror-filled folks like you.
That's good, that's good.
Well, I'll be. Look who's drifted out of the bayou. Off the port, Captain. It's Vincent Joe.
Old Beacon's been marking this river for longer than I can remember. The river constantly chanting Old Beacon puts out to let us know whether it's safe to travel or not. However, the sailor has been bragging that if push came to shove, he can navigate the Liberty Belle on a heavy duty. Isn't that something?
Well, I was born humble, Captain, but mostly it's worn off. Captain, Indian Village to port.
Now, that's something you don't see much out this way. That's an alfalfa Indian village. Looks to be from the Politics. Usually they stay further east. I've seen the Seminole at Miami this far west. And of course, you're surely right, Eaton Crow, but I've never seen alfalfa out here.
Lots of game out this way. I've seen moose and deer and plenty of other critters along the shoreline.
Could be why the Republicans are out this far. Just following the boots. It's been for a while. Indians along the river don't quite know what to make of a steamboat. They call it Delaware, which means fire. Because of the smoke and sparks pouring out of that. The first time we passed this way, they thought it was a return of one of their heavenly messengers. They said the Riverboat was a comet of the sun. every shoal and shallow, every snag and sandbar on this part of the river. Navigate us through to safe water. You wouldn't steer us wrong, would you, Sam?
I believe we ought never to do wrong, Captain, especially when others are looking. Leadsman, sing out.
Those of you that have been there know that the water can get fairly shallow along this stretch of the river. The leadsman call out the depth. Mark is a fathom, 6 feet. Mark 20 is 2 fathoms, and for us that means safe water.
Captain, we're passing Cutthroat Corner. Attention deck crew. Stay alert. If there's river pirates out here, this is where they'll most likely be. Yes, I can hear them from here. After all the commotion, it sounds like their interests lie elsewhere. If you folks on deck look past the trees on the island, that's Fort Langhorne. Most of these old boats started out as trading posts. Then as settlers started to head west, the Army came in and took them over. My feeling, these days, there's a lot less frontier and a lot more civilization than is truly necessary. Leadsman, give me a depth reading. Sing out.
By the mark, and away, upward, away, no bother,
mansion back over yonder there in the woods? I've heard folks hereabouts say it's haunted. They say it's built on sacred Indian burial ground, and that is filled with spirits. If you ask me, I'd say the ones telling those tales are the ones filled with spirits. If you want proof, just ask them. They got it. Not 100 proof, I reckon. And whatever you do, don't strike any matches if they don't read in your direction. You won't just be seeing ghosts, you'll be joining them. We're approaching Liberty Square, which is home port for us. We'll be putting into dock shortly, so those of you on the upper 2 decks might be able to collect all your parcels and head to the lower deck. If you got young'uns, you'll want to take them in hand before they get out of hand. On behalf of the captain, myself, and the crew, thanks for flying the waterways with us. I hope I see you next time round the river.
Thanks, Sam, and thank you, everyone, for traveling the rivers of America with us today.
Engine room. Approach levee at 1/4 steam. Man the bow line. Purser, check brake cargo. All hands prepare to dock. All passengers, stand by to go ashore.